The interpretation of this passage, I think, would be striking for most people. I think you hear the admonition, do not worry about those who kill the body. And that's fairly clearly referring to the civil authorities, the mob, the crowd, the people who would kill Jesus. But worry about the one who can kill the soul or throw both body and soul into Gehenna. And I think our natural response to that is to believe that the person being warned against is the devil. Not so. This is describing fear of the Lord, because the devil does not throw people into hell. The devil may torment people in hell. The devil may be in hell. But the devil is not the arbitrator of who enters and stays in hell. It is the Lord. And so the idea being, who is most important to you? Is it preserving your earthly life? Jesus says some pretty stark and important things about that. How foolish it would be to gain the whole world, but to forfeit your soul to get it. Those who would lose their lives for my sake will find it. What I would want to stop, that's the literal interpretation of the passage, right? But I think there's also an important thing. One can live in hell and not be eternally condemned to hell. You and I have all met people who are living a living hell. Could they get out of it? Yes, absolutely. Will they? One of the hallmarks of finding oneself in a living hell is the inability to change the trajectory of one's life, and that one has already found themselves on a path that leads to this sort of destruction. So is it possible? Yes. On their own? Probably not. It takes some kind of intervention. But then again, the entire act of faith requires a divine intervention. Otherwise, we would all be on the path, not only to a living hell, but a real and eternal hell. Pay attention to those things that don't just kill the body, but also kill the soul. I think we believe that I'm going to be good because and by good, I mean fine. Am I a good person? Yes. That part is fairly easy to set yourself up for. But I'm making my way towards eternal life. Okay. And that I may mess up the small things, but I'm going to get the big things okay. And the point here is that the big things are really symptoms of the small things. And I'm not advocating that you live a life where, you never go above the speed limit. You never tell a little white lie. You every day pray your rosary. You never, no. That's not what I mean. But it's those little ways in which my character, my virtue is just impeded a little bit. And a little bit, and a little bit, and a little bit, and a little bit. And then all of a sudden we're put before us tremendous challenges. If you live in such a way that my life is primarily about me, and then suddenly you find a sack of money, who knows what's going to happen there? Those are those hyper challenging moments. And if you do what is good and right in the small spaces when it hurts and when nobody's watching, or let me phrase it, when it's mildly uncomfortable, not when it hurts, but when it's uncomfortable and nobody's watching, there's no great reward, there's no great cost, nobody will know. In those moments, when you erode there, you will not have the strength of character when the real challenges come. And so, I would just want you to be aware that not everything that kills the soul is impressive. It's just this day of prayer and fasting is not that important. This Sunday Mass is not that important. In the grand scheme of things, any one of those things, not a roadblock, not a stumbling block. But a single pebble is not going to derail a train. You put an entire mountain of them in front of the tracks, something bad's going to happen. The train may not derail. I wouldn't want to be around the train when it hits the rocks, because then everything around it's going to get destroyed. And then you can start to see this can be one of those things that's a little nebulous, because I feel like I get the big things right, but it's the little things that lead up to the big things. Wouldn't it be sad to live an entire life following Jesus Christ, but still get to the gates and the Lord go, but you never loved me. And every time I asked something of you, it was just a mild inconvenience. Isn't it so much more important to get the little things right that cost us nothing than it is to get the big things right? At the very least, so that you know you'll have the courage when those moments come.
Amen.